Chefs at home. We are back for yet another episode of Something is Cooking. You are here with your Minister of Success, Catsmark himself, the cat with 9 lives. And today we're talking tech. We're talking startups. We're talking creatives. We're talking elevation, everything that says we're taking South African creatives to the global stage and we're making them big. We're with the co-founder of one of the biggest African tech collaboration startups. Minister Sethu, how are you, King?
How are you, King?
I'm easy, bro. I'm easy.
Thank you for having me. Yeah.
Give me a full intro, bro. Come on. Don't rob the chefs. Give us a full intro. Who are you? What are you about?
Okay, so for me, simply put, my name is Sethu Nzimande, and I'm about seeing cool people do incredible things. And as we created this platform for that, just for us to be in the space of facilitating more just incredible things getting done. And that's collaboration. So yeah, I'm the founder of Collab, which is basically a platform that allows creatives to collaborate on projects, manage projects, and even find other people within the field that they're at or with the field that they need for the different projects that they're trying to do. So yeah, bro, that's basically it. That's what I'm all about. I'm about creation. I love making videos. I love just exploring everything that SA has in terms of creativity and also other parts of the world in itself.
Let's talk about that curiosity, bro. Like, when was the first time that you can remember where you discovered just how curious you were, or you were told by your mom, hey, Rena, you're always wanting this, or you're always checking that? When did you discover, okay, I think I might be in love with curiosity and as a result, creation?
I think it was something that haunted me all through my childhood because, I used to watch everything, bro. And I mean, I used to like movies, TV shows, everything. I just used to consume all the time.
Yeah.
And I always had that wonder of like, what if I could create or make something? And it was only in uni when I was like, okay, you know what? No one's actually stopping me anymore, or there's nothing actually holding me back. So let me just explore and go to places and see people first on my side in tech, and then realizing the both the tech world and the creative space has just been incredible, bro.
Yeah,
Bro. Yeah. So I would say all my childhood just been discovering and just been like soaking things in like a sponge. And then from uni, bro, it was just seeing the world. And then Collab came to be from that.
Yeah. So I wanna also ask then, because obviously it doesn't start with Collab, right?
Yeah.
Collab is, I would assume, a later thought or brainchild after a bunch of failures.
Yeah.
What was the first business you failed at? Because I love failing, bro. I think it's
that's
the best
fun.
thing ever.
That's fun, bro. You know what's crazy is that this was a personal failure to us, but because it wasn't well marketed or publicized or anything, no one knew it happened. So you're about to get like a I guess a scoop, an exclusive scoop that only people that has known me for longer than 5 years know what we were doing before this.
Okay.
So as you guys know, me, I've always been interested within tech and creation and entrepreneurship. And the first idea we kind of had, or the first idea was me creating a platform for plumbing and home improvements, bro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Called that one Work Genie.
Okay.
Yeah, that was before I entered into uni.
Okay.
And because I was like always around home and there was always so many things that was going on. So I was like, all right, cool. Let's make Work Genie and itself. Didn't know how to code. Didn't know anything to do with anything. All I knew is that I could really expand on this idea. When I came to uni, I found people. I don't know, dude. The first week of uni, it's like I was basically just looking for co-founders.
Yeah.
Bro,
You were hunting.
I was hunting. I was like, you know what, look. He's doing
There's some
something.
potential here.
Yeah. And then it wasn't until I met a person who actually became one of my business partners that we thought of because he was deep within trading. I was like, wait, how do you guys learn? How do you guys get better? And how do you guys manage
Yeah,
yourselves?
yeah,
He was like, no, we just do this, there's signals and all of that. It's like, oh, what if we created a platform that just helps traders trade better?
Okay.
And it's like the app in itself, we called it
So this is now failure number 2.
no, this one's failure number 1.
So, okay,
Because
so
it
work
can't be a
genie.
failure if it didn't like if not one line of code was created around it. So it was like the concept
So you were ideating for work
ideating
genie.
for that one.
You didn't validate or
Not
create.
at all.
Okay,
No.
okay.
We did validate by doing a couple of projects and actually sourcing a couple on like I guess there was car washes, there was like lawn mowing, all of that. But then I stopped when I started uni
Oh, okay.
because I was
Okay.
like we're at Hatfield, so there wasn't any yards or anything
yeah,
close
yeah,
by.
yeah.
So I was like, I bet. So we started this one. We called it Insider Trader.
Okay.
FX Insider Trader.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were Forex Brews, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how did that go?
Not great.
Okay.
We expanded on the idea. We wanted to create like basically a platform that allows for traders to become or for signal providers to become accountable to the quality of their signals as well as their like I guess like creating a platform that like what is that there was that signals platform, that Telegram, but just in terms of watching traders trade
Yeah.
and copy trading and stuff.
Okay.
We expanded on it, we got into it, launched it, and got it out there. But because we were never truly connected into our industry and the people that were around, we traded, of course, and maybe we knew a few traders, but we never truly sought to get into the industry, talk to actual big Forex traders and providers and all of that stuff. By the time we released it, we thought, oh, we'll build it and then they will come. And they didn't. And so as a result, when we launched it, it's like, no one cared.
Yeah. It was
And
like,
no
okay.
no one called it out as like, yo, boy, that was a flop.
Yeah.
So it was only like I guess months later we had situations. There was money missing and or money that got lost and all of that. And it was only months later we were like, okay, let's close this chapter.
Yeah.
Recoup and stuff, build our skills, and that's when we started doing a whole lot of dev work because we knew dev, we knew marketing, and we knew what else? Yeah, it was dev and marketing. So it was like, let's just do that for a while. And with that, I found my strides within creating content. And from there, I was like, okay, you know what? I'm seeing the tech and creativity world and seeing a lot of entrepreneurs and tech developers and people in that space always want to collaborate and work on projects together. And that's when we thought of creating an event that brings in business and creativity like never before. Because we've always been going to networking events. And that's when we thought of something for the dreamers. And that one was one of the craziest things we ever thought of because we were like, okay, we're about to start an event. We've never hosted an event before. We're just gonna make a video and see who's interested. Made a video out and it went crazy. So many people started DMing us back, yo, bro, we'd love to help. We can do this. Someone in an event, someone help us with sponsors, someone was there and there and there. And other comedians came on and wanted to have a set and stuff. Musicians wanted to perform. Poetry people were performing. And then also a business panel with both
So
content creators.
I want us to give something for the dreamers a lot of time because I think it's really dope, right?
Yeah.
But before that, I want to just rewind and tap into this failure a little bit more.
Oh no!
right?
Don't do that.
I want to speak to this forex your forex bull era, right?
Yeah.
You speak to us about sorry, they're shouting at me for moving the mic. You speak to us about money going missing, right?
Yeah.
And I want to understand, how did this money go missing, and was it an issue of the executive money
Yeah.
going missing, or like the people that you were partnered with? Because the real question behind this question, right, is how do you choose the correct co-founder? Because did your co-founder chow your money?
Yes.
That's what I want to understand.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
So
Let's talk
basically,
about
my co-founder actually, because the whole thing, the way that we were truly just generating money to keep things afloat was that we were trading ourselves.
Okay.
A couple of us, I was trading, other co-founder, Saini was trading, and also the main guy who's the trading head, he was also trading. So we grew the account like crazy, bro. I think we went up at a certain point, we're up maybe 60 or 90,000 around there and itself. And it's like, okay, we're pretty good.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
went
yeah.
from, because we first started, we're like, oh, let's put in 450 to where we're at now. And it's just like, yo, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know if, because at that point, then there was like these investors that wanted to come in and help us turn the platform and make it into like more revenue generating in that space. And we're like, I bet, cool. We're about to jump into it. And I think the pressure got to him and he just started making mistakes, bro. He was just, because we always had trading parameters. We had risk parameters set as like, you don't trade more than this. If you've had losses in this space, you don't double your lot sizes and stuff to try to win it back. Because, the market will never go when you truly need it to
Yeah,
move
yeah,
in
yeah,
itself.
yeah.
And he just kept on going. And he didn't tell us this, bro. He was reporting, oh, we're good, 5%. Oh, we're good, we're here. So in our heads, we're like thinking, oh, now we're in a good state. But it wasn't until, I don't know what happened, but we're like, I know we need access to accounts right now. Man's went missing. He just goes missing. And then I was saying, who's in the trading floor with him, like, bro, what's happening? And then he tells me, he's like, he logs in, he's like, yo, everything's gone. And we're like, what? Did he steal it? It's like, nope. Bad losses of the losses. And he's trying to double up the lot sizes, but just losing even further. And Mans was just dead quiet. Not even quiet, just MIA. I'm trying to call him, he's not answering.
So you lost 90,000 rands and he disappeared.
Yeah.
And you couldn't get access to him.
That sounds like a good reel right there.
Yeah.
But yes, yeah, that's exactly what happened. And did we? And while that's all happening, our investors who were about to drop, I think it was like, at the time it was like half a bar.
Yo.
Was
That-
like,
that-
"Alright,
that's
cool.
500K.
Let's do what's this thing? Let's do compliance and due diligence. Which
Ish.
at the time when we were diving in, we're like, oh no, that's fine, that's perfect, bro.
Yeah, because you had
We're
90K up, you had your
90K,
parameters
we had
set.
good, everything was proper. But then I was like, all right now. And then they were just about it. I think they were good at how the business was flowing and everything. And just as we're about to like sign and everything, I had to tell them. I was like, yo, listen, man, here's the situation. Told them this. And at that moment, I think the person respected the honesty and was like, nah, we're not doing this anymore. But that was the biggest punch. But it was the fact that it's a person we still have a relationship to this day with. And it would have been a real mess if we took in the cash
Yeah.
and
yeah.
I guess fixed it later.
Yeah.
And dived into this idea that the person who was like, I guess, being the unfair advantage to it working out was out. It was like, okay, nah, then I'm sorry, we can't proceed doing this. And we stopped everything. We shut everything down. That was about 2022. Yeah.
And what is the big takeaway as far as picking the correct co-founder? Like how do your vetting
Transparency.
process, how has it changed?
Oh, no. Number one, first and foremost, first in the beginning, especially when you don't have the skills, you find someone off vibe. You like say, okay, now this person feels like he's within that direction and where I'm trying to go, and you observe from there. I can't say that you shouldn't just like pick someone off with vibe and feel, because majority of your gut feeling is correct.
And it's most of entrepreneurship.
Most of entrepreneurship is just a gut. We
Intuition.
don't know what we're doing.
Yeah.
So with that, I was like, okay, it's first that gut, and then while you get into it, it's like seeing, yes, they might not have the skills that they need to at the level that you need them at, but what are they doing to getting there?
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
So it's like that motivation and dedication to building themselves, because you find that you can say no to a lot of people if they're not at the skill that you need them to be. When you realize that, like, if you have the time,
The hunger.
have the time, the hunger to actually dedicate yourself to either building this person while you building your side, you have a good thing going.
100%.
Like my co-founder who even through that thing back in, because this was like we came together in 2020, since then, he's built so much skill and business skill in itself that it's like, yo, I never would have guessed him at the beginning to be at the level that he's at now. Because it's like, oh, okay, now when we were starting out, he was brought in from Vibe. It's like, I don't know what he can actually necessarily do, but I know
There's
that
something he can
there's
do.
something he can do, and he has energy
100%.
towards it, and he's just been staying. And he was the one person who, for me at first, I disliked.
Oh,
This is Hussein. His name is Hussein Ismail. I
okay.
disliked because his vibe was, when I told him about the idea, I was like, dog, we're gonna be rich by December. He's like, he told me straight up, that's not gonna happen. And I was like, what you mean? It's like, nah, nah, nah. It's like, I was like, nah, positive thinking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was like, nah, nah, that's not gonna happen.
Let's not play that game,
Let's not
Papa.
play that, bro.
Yeah.
We're here for the long haul for this. And I'm like, yes, this guy's so negative and
Buzzkill. Get out of here, bro.
pessimistic, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
But then the end of the year came and we didn't make money.
We were not rich.
And he was still in it. He was still
he was
content
still
in
level
everything.
headed. He was still pushing. Yeah, yeah.
And ever since then, he's still just had that level headed to be like, oh, I'm seeing this long term. And over time, his skill has been doubling and growing. So I think your question was, how do you see their co-founder? It's that vibe. It's their dedication to them building themselves and building towards the mission, as well as them being accountable and transparent to their lives and the mission at hand. Because we had a vibe with the guy that was moving. He was building himself, but he wasn't accountable and transparent to the things that was happening.
For sure.
When things were good, he would say. When things were bad, he
wouldn't.
would bring his pride to like not say anything, and that would make it worse because we wouldn't realize that. Oh,
You
snap,
can't fix what you don't know.
can't fix what you don't know. So yeah, dude, I think even with collaborations in itself, having that level of understanding of someone's energy, understanding of someone's priorities, and also transparency and accountability
For sure.
to partnerships
For sure.
makes the biggest difference.
Yeah, bro. I think that's so real, and I wanted to start the interview off with failure because I feel like it's kind of crazy. You lost close to 100K, right? And that isn't something that came to your mind when I asked you about failure,
Bro.
which just really reflects how entrepreneurship works, bro. You get so used to losses and failure that it's like you develop like a thick skin to the extent that you're always looking at what's next, right? And you don't dwell in your failures, and you're always kind of looking to grow and that kind of thing, which is why the bulk of the interview is going to center around collab and the success that collab has become, right? But I'd like to think of something for the dreamers as a catalyst for collab.
I think it was the womb, I guess, if I could call it that. And it's
And you were the father.
no.
How many fathers does collab have? 3.
Oh yeah, 3.
Okay.
Yeah. It was a crazy miraculous event, which was just I guess it sprouted or started from the space of audacity, bro. It was like, okay, we've never done this before, but let's see what's gonna happen, and let's see how far we can go along the road before we're stopped.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. And it's like, oh, we know we can make a video about this already as is, so let's do that. And then with that, so many people were like, oh, let's help. Can we do this? Can we do this? I'd love to have a spot there. And I was like, all right, cool. Let's keep on going until we're stopped. Even got like a sponsor from even Tux Innovation and so many other different things, and content creators, well-known content creators coming through and being like, yo, bro, love what you're doing. I'd love to be a part of it and stuff. Like the Des Lees and all of that, they were like literally for it. And as a result, when we let it all happen and we did it, it was I was very anxious the whole way through, but it was so much fun. And it was only when I was off stage where I realized that, yo, we could do something.
Yeah.
Because when we were off stage, I was seeing so many of the people and knowing what kind of creative projects on entrepreneurial projects that they're working on, where they needed help. So I was like, while I was there, I was basically like telling this guy, I was like, yo, Doug, I know you've been looking for a graphics designer for the logo of your space. This guy does that, and pulling them together. And this guy's trying to build his portfolio, pull that together. I think there was even a comedy show that came out of it in itself in Pretoria, Crack Up, and so many different things that came as a result of pulling people together and knowing what kind of projects and where their heart's at.
Yeah.
There needs to be a platform for this because not all of us were lucky enough to have the spaces that we got into in terms of being in uni, because in
Yeah.
uni there's so many people that are doing so many different things that aren't part of their degrees, but you have that space, that I guess that nesting place. But other people are just out far and stuff and don't have that access.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, dude, I was like, yeah, that's where I guess the womb was like coming and germinating and coming together. It's like, all right, let's make that.
For sure.
Yeah,
And then you are studying at the time, correct?
I was studying. Yeah,
And you finished when?
last year.
Last year. So
Yeah, yeah.
you're building a company and you're studying. How are you funding it?
I actually have no idea. I won't even lie to you.
Yeah?
Bro. I think it was just doing the projects, bro. That was basically it. So we used to just do more, like there would be a site here, there'd be a digital marketing client there, and just like doing that to keep everything going in itself and just keeping it pumping. And as a result, and also understanding that like it didn't cost as much as we thought it would. So as a result, we just kept on doing stuff.
Biggest cost is time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically, biggest cost was time at the time.
So walk us through, okay, womb, then fetus, then no. I don't think that has bio well. But walk us through the journey of collab.
Yeah.
Like the different stages from fetal stage to birth.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess the fetus stage, like that initial, I guess that initial, the getting that pregnancy test, being like, oh, here's collab, was basically the weeks after Something for the Dreamers one.
Okay.
And we're like, oh, damn, we could really do something here. And it was like the idea that is like kind of struck us because we were realizing, yo, there's so much we can do in terms of collaboration. And we're like, all right, let's do collab. And that's when we were like expanding on the idea, figuring out, oh, what can we do? It's like, okay, just plain and simple, make it a LinkedIn for creatives. And then start building from there. And from there, we started, I guess, coding, or started designing what we wanted to look like, started taking a lot of templates and stuff and bringing it together. And then by the time we had Something for the Dreamers 2, which we wanted to call it, I would call it what, Rise of Collab. But yeah, we were like, all right, this one, we're basically bringing an idea out to people. It's like, guys, this is what it is. And it was terrible. I won't lie to you. The event was great, but actually showing the product, it wasn't working.
Damn.
Yeah, that was fun. That was fun. But it was like, what was fun was seeing the community surrounding and literally them being like, we see what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
And we're down for it. We're rooting, we're cheering for you on and stuff. And asking, giving us valuable insights as to like, okay, now cool. How are you gonna protect people from getting their ideas stolen? How are you gonna, so many different things. So Something for the Dreamers 2 was basically us having like a Apple press release around collab.
So the way you describe Something for the Dreamers, bro, it's really giving like that was a really good avenue for market research.
Yeah.
Because that's where you discovered and you validated your market, that there is a need, that there is a problem that requires solving.
Exactly.
And I remember attending the launch event, which was super dope, by the way.
Yeah.
And seeing where you are now, because I'm seeing you guys are busy. I saw you were at the Bioscope recently, dropping like 2-3 documentaries. I don't know what you guys were dropping there, but you're doing crazy work, right? So give us a bit of insight into what the platform looks like right now.
I think before I dive into that, can I dive into the bridging of, I guess, Something for the Dreamers 2 and that launch?
Do that, bro. Do that.
Yeah. So right after that, we were like, all right, getting it up and getting it ready and all of that stuff. I think we wanted it first as a web application. So it was a link to people, other people signed up and stuff, and the UI was terrible. And so, and by the time we were done, end of 2023, we were like, okay, cool. All of us were done. Benny, who's the product developer and what's his thing, coder, was like graduated. Saini also graduated, and it's all for me on my side. I was graduating that year. I'm like, okay, cool. Now we're all in Joburg. Now it's about us understanding the full-on Joburg market on creativity. I talked to, the boy himself, Senna, who's deep within the creative industry. He's so tapped in. So he was the one who was actually basically telling me about all the previous failures of other people that thought they can come into the creative industry and be like, oh, we're going to create a solution for them. And that not having the adoption that they planned putting hella investment into it and no one actually using it. He talked about other companies which I don't want to name right now because I don't know if we'd get sued or anything.
Yeah.
But you told me that like you truly need to understand your market and understand what people are going through and the problems that they have. So that's what we did. And through that, I found even a mentor who was like giving us insights and stuff. And as a result, when I showed him from, I think this was like March last year, when I showed him how we were ready to launch and I showed him everything that the thing is going to do, he's like, this is trash.
Yeah.
He told me straight up, he was like, bro, this isn't going to work because of this, because of this, because of this. Creatives don't want to do these kind of things. We wanted it to like have blogs. We wanted it to have entries and all of that stuff. He's like, it's not, you don't need an all-in-one. You just needed to do the core thing because you give me multiple different things. What is the core thing?
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn. So I had to go back. And while all this is happening, we're diving into Joburg and fully understanding. Well, this is Dillian Perry from Creative Nestlings. And then he's like making us fully understand. It's like, you actually, the whole focus is the projects and managing projects, creating them, managing projects. Because if you have projects, people will join in itself. And that's when we started building out as slim and as little as possible. And then when we went to that collab launch, that's when we were like, okay, nah, this is bringing out the smallest nugget that we have, but that we feel like could help some people.
Yeah.
And then from there, we wanted to just have the whole community feel it, understand the journey that it took to getting there and cementing ourselves. Or like, I guess, joining the creative communities of Joburg. And also other ones, like we knew a couple in Cape Town, a couple in Durban, but it's like, that's what the mission was. And from that point on, that's up to the launch in itself. And then from that point on, it was just iterations after iterations and improving the things that need to be improved on, understanding different tools. While all of that is happening, having all the projects that are now building and compiling us to be like, okay, someone needs this. There was a fashion designer that someone was looking for a fashion designer last year and so many other different projects. So the point that when we created Collab 25, which is our way of creating 25 projects before the end of the year to like start the next one, it was more activities that was just happening and more of us understanding what true collaboration is and what it isn't. Because we had like a failure or like not a failure, but we were going to do something that would have required a lot of effort with another partner that didn't turn out well. And it was one of the best things that we could have had going for us because we understood, okay, where do we need to always draw the line when we're reaching out to working with people? Yeah, bro. That's
dope, bro. And I want to then understand, how does collab sustain itself, bro? Like, and I always ask this question because I think we need to be real about the thing. Like, what do the numbers look like? What do the collab books look like right now?
Yeah. So basically, we have the way we sustain ourselves is kind of running as, I guess a creative agency and talent sourcing. And it's also a lot of SMMEs and I guess medium enterprises need creative projects to being executed on, or at least either executed on or project coordinated for in itself. So they come to us and be like, yo, look, we're looking for a graphics designer for this type of project to do this in itself. And then we're like, all right, we create a project brief, we get it done, either get it done for them or we source the project from our community in itself. We always, in a sense, we always want to be hunting for a portfolio, and that's why collab in itself is going to be that thing where it's like allows us to just have that close link that we can just send out to be like, this is the projects that they've worked with us on the platform for, and also what they've done outside of it in itself. So as a result, when the more projects that we land, like of course that Bioscope, that documentary with Dillian Perry and creative developments as well as Open Planet, it was like doing more of those things keeps the cash filled in the platform and allows us to push forward in terms of servers, in terms of even just more product development, bro. So even digital marketing, we push a lot of digital marketing and bringing more storytelling into a lot of businesses in itself and be like, this is what we have to do, this is the content that we push, and also even plugging with other collaborators on the platform in itself. Yeah, bro. And that's been keeping everything going. And that one is called Collab Business. Yeah.
That's so dope, bro. I think that it's really exciting that creators have this platform, and hopefully they can utilize it. I know you can get the app on iOS and on Android.
Yeah.
But I want you to leave us with your business word of the day. What would you tell any person looking to penetrate the tech industry right now?
Definitely two things. You gotta research and you gotta cultivate fearlessness. I think that's one thing that we on our side have had to learn the hard way for the longest time. Researching means understanding what problem you're truly trying to solve and all the tools and everything currently going on in order to fully know what's being up to date with all your stuff. So you know your homework while also cultivating fearlessness as to going for the projects that you didn't know you could actually land in itself and just being like, oh no, we're truly about that. And as a result, you expand, even if like maybe you might not get it, you know that, oh no, you know how to bring more things to life in itself. So
Damn,
yeah,
bro.
research and just cultivating fearlessness.
Chefs at home, that was Sethu Nzimande, joined us to speak about collab. Please tap in, please support. Let's grow. Let us create a community.